Hi, I'm Bea from nimble.handmade. I'm coming to you from Belgium, and in this Yarny tale I would like to tell you all about the things I have finished in Yarnyland, and the things that are still on my needles. And at the end I have a little surprise. I hope it will be something you can share, but we'll see. Anyway, welcome, and let's start. So the first finished object I have is, of course, my Sophie scarf or shawl in the Christmas edition of the Lana Grossa yarn Gomitolo. Now, as I talk to you, oh, I'm so sorry, something seemed to have fallen in the kitchen. I do apologize for the lighting, because we have this 50 shades of grey weather over here in Belgium. It's just awful, and I need to use artificial lighting, so I hope you don't mind. But anyway, I was talking about my Sophie shawl in the Christmas edition, and as I talked to you about in the former Yarny tale, I had an issue with the yarn because there was a breakage in color. So it normally doesn't happen that often, but it happens in gradient yarns that, well, they need to attach two colors to one another, and unfortunately there was this light pink going into a dark green, so that would have been a real cut in the color, and that is why I chose to take the second ball of yarn, wind off the first part, then attach it in the pink and knit the second ball of yarn entirely. And I was lucky enough that I could match the color, so the green color of the first one, and attach it at the end, and then even the last bit I could attach as well. But I still have a little ball of yarn left. I could do something like a pom-pom or anything, but I don't really, well, I like that it's a Christmas shawl. It's not too Christmassy. You can wear it anywhere in December, I think. So in the end, I didn't make it more Christmassy than it already was. And I do like these colors, blending into one another as they are. Mine is quite large, so I knit up to 75 stitches, which gave me 41 centimeters of depth, and the shawl is 2 meters and 50 centimeters long. This means that when I wrap it around 1 to 3 times, I can wear it like a big giant scarf under a coat, which I do like, but I can wear it inside as well. I have this dress on, and I think it's a nice addition. It's not too hot, so that was everything I was after with this scarf. I'm just gonna check my notes if I don't forget anything, but I think that's it. It's just an addition to my wardrobe, with which I'm quite happy. Now, another addition to my wardrobe are my socks. I also finished my Christmas socks. Ta-da! Taking them with me. I have put them on sock blockers. These are made with Uneek yarn, which is a Turkish hand-dyed yarn. And I really like that the colors aren't flat, but they have kind of a depth to them, which is quite an addition, I think. They also, the green is a lighter green going into a darker green and then back. I really liked working with it. It's a soft yarn as well, but there are some things that I changed, and also I don't think that the yarn was enough to make knee-high socks. They are a bit higher than usual, and I wanted to go for the slouchy look, so I increased 4 stitches for the leg. But, well, I don't think I would have gotten an entire knee-high sock out of it. In the end, this is what is left for just one sock, yes. Another thing is that I didn't entirely follow the pattern. So what I did follow and what I usually do is use a Turkish cast on, then have a rounded toe. That means that you have 8 stitches per needle when you start, and then you increase to 16 stitches, and from then on every other row you make increases until you have 32 stitches for my size on each needle, so 64 in total, and then you knit the entire foot. And then there was this kind of flap that you needed to make. It's not really a heel flap and gusset, I think, because it was the other way around. The flap was at the bottom, and then you made some sort of cup by making decreases, and then you picked up all the stitches to knit the leg. But I didn't like how it worked out with this seam that you have at the bottom, because you have to pick up stitches. There is some kind of ridge that is very close to your heel, and as I'm quite sensitive for that, I chose to rip it back, and then I inserted an afterthought heel. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to see where my finger is. So I did stop in the middle of this row. Oh, the focus is going, sorry. So I did stop in this row halfway, and then when I stopped here, I was halfway a red row. So what I did is, and I still have the little piece, this little fluff. So I took out all the red, and then I took out all the green of the ball, all the green for just one stripe. I put it in half, cut it through, and then I started making the first rows of the heel, and that makes up for well, a more even, how do you say that in English? So it's not that noticeable that you inserted some fabric here, because the rows match with the rows you make in your entire sock. Of course, this row is a bit bigger and this is just a dot, but it doesn't break up your entire sock pattern, as you can, your entire sock striping, it's maybe a better word, as much as it would with some other kind of heel. So I'm quite glad with how it turned out. Also for my heel, I have quite a protruding heel, but a very narrow one. For my heel, it works best if I do 3 plain rows of stockinette stitch and then start decreasing the way you would decrease for the toe. So in fact, this is just a toe. I'm gonna take it off the blocker. This is just like you would knit a toe of a sock. And then in the end, so you go back, you do your decreases from 32 stitches to 16 stitches every other row, and then when you have 16 stitches you go and do decrease every row until you have 8 stitches on each needle, I mean 16 in total, and then you Kitchener them together, and then you have your heel. I really think this is a nice way to do your heels, especially in striped socks, but they fit me best, and I experienced that through learning. You need to get to know your knitting and your foot, and they need to communicate well. So, well, it's always a journey. Knitting is always a journey, and you get to know your body and you get to know your knitting. So I think it's quite an interesting journey. But anyway, the afterthought heel is also one of my preferred heels when it comes to gift knitting. So if you want to make some gift knits, I think the afterthought heel has many similarities with the fit of a heel of a sock you bought in the store. But all that aside, let's move on to the next project. The next project is my pièce de résistance, as we tend to say here in Belgium or in France. It's my Kristtjørn sweater by Hanne Rimmen. I really like how the yoke turned out, and the yoke was what I had finished in the last Yarny tail. I put on a collar now as well. It's just a twisted rib, and then I did a regular cast off, not the cast offs she indicated, because well, she does some stabilizing rows, and then there is an Italian bind off, but I'm not really into sewn bind offs, so I think this is neat as well. As I said before, I did remake the smaller size and then put some more increases in between the design. No, is this the design? No, in between the drawing, in fact. So at the top it's a large, and over here it's about a double XL, because I wanted it to be a bit looser, a bit oversized, and I think that I managed to do that. It has an oversized fit when I try it on, but for a better fit, the pattern suggests that you do short rows, and the short rows normally go into this part of the neck, or part of the short rows go in that part of the neck. But with this pattern, you do the short rows after you have done all the collar work. So that means that I'm just going to try to show you. I'm sorry, I'm banging my little table here. Sorry. So what you do is you make short rows all the way over half of the sweater, so all the way to the middle of the sleeves, you make your short rows. And I haven't done that before. I know you can choose, you can put them on top, you can put them underneath the colorwork, or you can choose to have both, a bit on the top, at the top, and a bit under the colorwork. Now here it's all under the colorwork, and when I try it on, the neckline indeed comes up, but it's still has a look to it as if I'm wearing my sweater backward, because there is room for boobies at the back of the sweater. And I was quite surprised, but I heard or I read that this is an issue that sometimes comes with making your short rows that low in the body. So I do hope that it will block out, that I don't have to show you how it wears at the back or doesn't wear at the back. But anyway, I am going to wear this sweater. I'm not gonna rip it out again, because then I would have to do it all the way back to to the colorwork. And I have started the border. I did some decreases as well, so that you have like this oversized. It's quite oversized, and I didn't want it to be too bulky underneath, so at the border. So I did some decreases, and I will also do some decreases for the sleeves. As you can see, the sleeves are quite big. I'm not gonna, can I show it? I'm not gonna do any decreases during the way down, in a matter of speaking, but I will have some kind of balloon sleeves, so I will do some decreases for the cuff. And now underneath the arm you need to pick up quite a lot of stitches, so I'm just gonna show you. It's quite a bit that you need to pick up. I did try to avoid some holes where you attach them, but let's see how it works out. So I picked up 2 stitches, and in the next round I decreased these 2 stitches so that I had the right amount of stitches on my needle in the second row, and I hope it will be fine. I think it's quite okay. It's not that visible, but I do hope that, well, nothing that can't be mended with a bit of yarn, but I do hope that it's not noticeable and that it doesn't stretch as much. But it's an oversized sweater, so hopefully that won't be an issue. I think that I have told you all about this. If you want to know more about the colorwork itself, I think you can have a look at what I told in my former video, because well, the green was showing through when I shortened my floats in the beginning of the work, and then at the end I chose to use the leatherback jacquard to solve that problem. So I'm just gonna try and show you. So you basically pick your floats up, but you make a leather out of it. It's like double knitting, and so the cobweb is in fact not attached. Well, it is attached in some places, otherwise it wouldn't stay for a spider also, but so it lays flat on your knitting, and it's quite stretchy. And it's called leatherback jacquard. Yeah, there are lots of tutorials. And I think that worked better because you can't see very much. There is still one place where it is attached that you can see a little bit, but I'm not sure if I'm going to solve that problem. Now, with all that being said, I am using Litlopi yarn, and I bought it at Etna. And Litlopi is an Icelandic wool. Now, I have never, of course I have worked a lot with wool yarn, but I haven't already worked with Icelandic wool. And at first, I know that sounds very dumb and blunt, but at first I thought, well, how many hairs are there in this yarn? Because I do shed some hairs every now and then I knit them into my work and I have to pull them out. Don't know if you can relate to this, but well, for me it's the case sometimes that I knit a hair in my yarn. But this yarn had many hairs in it, and first I thought, well, what's happening? And so I did some research, and Icelandic wool is a yarn, of course, from Icelandic sheep, and they do have another fleece than the sheep we know over here. So we have the white and black sheep that we have all over the country, and well, we are in the middle of Europe. But in Iceland, the sheep are more protected for the awful weather they have over here. We have awful weather now, but they have more awful weather and very cold weather, of course. So these sheep have a fleece, just like the regular sheep, and then they have hairs on the fleece, which are crinkly hairs, which make sure that the fleece doesn't get wet, because these hairs, they make sure that the water drips off. Now these hairs are into my sweater as well, and well, they are quite tickly, I must say. So it's not soft. You can see that there are hairs on this piece of work. They stick out, and they are quite scratchy on the skin. So it's not like with mohair or something. Part of that is due to the fact that I did knit this up in a needle size 4mm and 4.5mm, which is the recommended needle size. But when you knit it with a larger needle size, like a 6mm, you can it's less hard on your hands, and it probably will be less prickly because the hairs don't stick out that much. They are eased a bit more into the fabric. And I have, let's see, I think I have it here. This is my gauge swatch, and I blocked it. And as you can see, well, might be not so noticeable, but the stitches in this swatch, they have laid themselves out. So the yarn blooms beautifully when you block it, and it will also do so when you knit it with a larger needle. It will be more uneven, but when you block it, it will come out just fine. It won't be as warm because, of course, the tighter your knit, the more wind resistant your work is going to be. But yeah, that is something I will consider in the future. I definitely will have to wear something underneath, this sweater, but in future I do want to make, do want to work with this yarn again. Although I don't think that the color work will be beautiful when you use a size, needle size that is bigger, because you have more gaps. And in my experience and what I read is that the lighter colors are thinner. It's just nature. I know that. So a white yarn doesn't have all uh, um, the pigments of the color, and that's why it's thinner. So you will see through it if I used white yarn instead of the gray, you would have noticed that you would have seen through the fabric probably. So anyway, where was I? I'm definitely going to knit another sweater in this little Loki yarn, although it's a bit itchy and although it makes my skin dry. I think that's something quite stunning. I didn't expect it. When I work with yarn, normally in yarn there is lanolin, and this oil is something that is like in Nivea creams. So it has been used for ages to ointment our skins, but this makes your skin drier, so you need your extra lotion to work with it. But anyway, I enjoy working on this project. It's quite an adventure, but it's really enjoyable. It's really an enjoyable knit, and I look forward to be able to wear it soon. Now, the other thing I have is something that's not finished or only half finished. I showed it last time. It's the Strand mittens, sorry, Strand mittens by Vilcolana. And this was a workshop given by Gabrielle at Wolstory. Well, that's the news I have. I used to give workshops myself. That was before Corona hit, or COVID hit us. And I did that under the name Het Betere Bolwerk. I know that it's something that cannot be pronounced by not native Dutch speakers, so I changed my name. Originally, I changed the name to Beautiful Belgian, because of course I'm Belgian, and beautiful, well, the first three letters have my name, or the first three characters have my name, but with a name like Beautiful Belgium, other people tend to be attracted. So instead of knitters and crocheters, I had men looking for a beautiful Belgian girl. So that wasn't the kind of people I was looking for on my channel, so I changed my name and I chose nimble.handmade because I like the sound of nimble. I like my knitting to be nimble. Well, that's a little behind the scenes of how my name changed through the years. But anyway, I did some workshops with Het Betere Bolwerk. I did quite a lot, and I did them here at home. We have many happy memories, but unfortunately, I don't really have the space to do it here. And, well, Wolstory sometimes invites guest speakers for the workshops. So, one of the new ones in February, in fact, on the Tuesday, February 11th, from 7 to 9:30 p.m. there will be a workshop in Mechelen by me at Wolstory. And what we will make is this beautiful shawl. It is my Sugar Spikes Tunisian crochet shawl. And I am also going, it's not finished yet, I'm also going to show you the back, because I really like the back as well. And as you can see, I have blocked the first part because I needed a picture for the announcement of the workshop, and it's quite flat and smooth. And then the part that is not blocked yet is quite wobbly and bubbly. So I will explain how to solve all that during the workshop, of course. And I will also explain how to start with the Tunisian crochet. It's quite a hassle when you're not used to this technique, and in the beginning it's not entirely clear. You will need to get an eye for the stitches, but as soon as you have seen how it works, I assure you it will go fast and it will be quite addictive. I know from experience, to make this shawl. Now, after the workshop, the pattern will also come online, and the pattern will be in Dutch and in English, as my Yarny tails are. So I have the Yarny tails and I have the brei bubbles. So the brei bubbles are, of course, in Dutch, and Yarny tails are always in English. My patterns are also in Dutch and English. The workshop will be in Dutch, but if you are English speaking, you can also attend, and then I will take you separately and explain how it all works. But so anything I still wanted to say about it? Yes, of course I will, as I link all the projects down below, I will also link the where you can book it at Wolstory, because you book the workshop on the Wolstory website, and then you buy all your materials at Wolstory itself. I used Painted Power. It's a yarn from Rico. It has some wool in it and some synthetic fibers, and it's quite a bouncy yarn. It's not that expensive, and I think the colors are gorgeous. It's like yeah, it's like candy, but I was thinking about in Dutch we call it barbapapa. Well, it's not Dutch, it's French. It's daddy's beard. In fact, if you translate it, it's like this sugary thing that you buy in Disneyland or in on a yeah. At Christmas fairs, etc., you can buy these candy. Well, that reminded me, and that's why it's called Sugar Spike. I used a needle size 7 millimeters. We will see during the workshop what works best for you. Some people tend to be a little tight when it comes to Tunisian crochet, so we'll see if you need to go up a needle size or not. You can of course choose another yarn that's in store. Gabrielle will of course help you out with your choices, with the colors. You can also make this into a nice gift for a gentleman, or even if you are a gentleman yourself, you're most welcome to attend the workshop, because it can be in all kinds of colors. And as a bonus, you get 10% off all the yarn you buy for the workshop at Wolstory. So that was my little surprise, and I am really looking forward to getting into workshops again. I really enjoy the interaction. I enjoy making these little yarny tales, and I really enjoy reading your comments. But the interaction you have during a workshop is still different. There is an ambience, and there is well, most of the time it's quite serious at the beginning, and then we start having fun and making jokes and, well, just having a good time among same-spirited people. So I hope you can join. If not, I will see you back in the next year. I wish you all the best, and yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!